everybody, welcome to the Pony Cast. It's the show about ponies and a boat. Today's episode is episode season 7, episode 21, Marks and Recreation. This is a Cutie Mark Crusader episode.
Yeah.
You know how those go.
And I'm give and take, and there's lots to say about this one. Mainly because it's a Cutie Mark episode, which is like the most badly defined thing in the entire show, and so there's always things to like argue about, like rant about, like how does it work? No, we still don't really know.
I was getting those vibes of getting a little bit irritated at the whole thing during this episode. But let's talk about the important thing, the good thing. Let's talk about Kettle Corn.
Oh,
the best character, the
circle
best
girl.
Yeah, she just loves drawing circles. And she's really good at haikus, but that doesn't matter. She loves drawing circles.
Yeah, that whole thing was really sad, that she, when she was like, she wanted to draw circles so much, and then she got good at haikus, and that was her cutie mark, and now she has to do haikus forever, and her circle passion has been squashed. She's been manipulated, mind bent into thinking that haikus are interesting and good, and they kind of are. But like, you shouldn't say them in regular conversation for everything. You shouldn't become another Sakura. This is bad.
Nobody wants to be a Sakura or to hang out with one. I really like the part in the episode. There's one gag where she's like, I don't want to be only a haiku. I want to only draw circles. But, like, she says it as a haiku by accident, and they go, you're haikuing right now, you little dipshit.
Yeah, that was really
cool.
No. That was really cool. The comedy in this one's pretty good, funny moments.
Yeah.
I really like the moment where Sweetie Belle was like, the secret is to remain calm, and then the shot changes, but they're all in the same place, and then Sweetie Belle's, like, yelling at the top of her lungs. That was really good.
Yeah. So, like you said, the whole conceit of this episode is annoying and makes no sense because it's all this...
Rumble was right.
Oh, God. I hate him. I guess the problem with this whole episode is that in the universe of the show, for some reason, none of the characters understand what cutie marks are actually for, and no one knows how to explain them to each other. And the whole conceit of the episode rests on this simplistic idea that the cutie marks show up and they represent, like, what you do or what you're supposed to do. And that's not necessarily what they really are or what they're supposed to be. And nobody made an effort to explain that. Like,
yeah, the most annoying part for me was when, I think his name is Pipsqueak, was like, I love making jam or jelly or whatever. It's like, oh, but I didn't get a cutie mark, and yet I like it. And then Scoodloo comes in and says, getting a cutie mark is not about what you like, nor even what you're good at. It's more than that. And I'm like, what else could it be than that?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, with the main 6, who should be the gold standard, because obviously they were the ones who had the most thought put into their designs, all of their cutie marks aren't necessarily some thing that they have to do, or... Their cutie marks are more like metaphorical about their personalities or like some aspect of themselves. Like, I made that point in an old video one time. It's like, it's not, it doesn't mean like, oh, I have a picture of a roller skate on my ass so I can only roller skate from now on.
Yeah.
That's stupid. And I feel like the Cutie Mark Crusaders tried to explain that, but they are stupid themselves, so they didn't explain it directly.
I mean, it's not that, like, cutie marks don't have a thing that makes sense in the main 6. It's that in the episode where they're trying to explain that, one of the girls gets a haiku cutie mark, which is not a symbolic thing. It is just a thing. It's a skill. So like it's like it's sending mixed messages the whole time.
They even bring up that, like, hey, our cutie marks are supposedly in helping people get their which even the way that they describe their own cutie marks is, like, wrong. How the Cutie Mark Crusaders believe that they have cutie marks in the act of helping people get their cutie marks, which is stupid. Like, the way that I view their cutie marks is it's obviously symbolic of their friendship between the three of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that their job now is to help every little dipshit get a cutie mark in some dumb activity or to...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
But they got that, and then they said, oh, our special talent is helping people find their cutie marks. And no other character even implied that that was wrong.
Yeah.
And so now they do that.
It's weird, because, like, nobody in the universe knows what they're talking about. Like, if it was just, like, the writers don't... Like, if it's, like, a bad writer who doesn't understand cutie marks, or if it's, like, some fan of the show who doesn't understand cutie marks right, that's one thing. But it's, like, in the show itself, the actual characters who live in this world and all have cutie marks do not understand what cutie marks are.
Yep. It's I mean, there was a bit where Rumble was like...
Equestria is a society of retards.
Where Rumble was like saying, he had this argument, and if if the CMC understood cutie marks, they might have been able to, to fight against it, but they were just like, what was it? Apple Bloom was saying, just because I got this cutie mark doesn't mean I can't do other things. I still make potions with Sakura. And he was like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I haven't done it in a while.
They briefly brought it up, and yeah, the other guy just says like, oh, yeah? Well, no, fuck you. And they go, oh, shit, well, fuck us. And they don't argue the point at all. They just kind of, like, give up on it. But, like, they were right. I mean, they do... There was that whole subplot in the very beginning where it implied that, like, Sweetie Belle is a good singer, and Apple Bloom is good with tools, and Scootaloo can fucking massage her pussy.
Hell yeah.
And they've got things they do besides... Oh, boy.
Bleep all of that. It's all bleeped.
It's all gone. The whole episode's in the trash. But yeah, the guy was just like, no, that's wrong. And they were like, oh, crap, I guess that's wrong. And they didn't even try.
I mean, he had a good argument. I liked his song and his gusto.
His gusto. You like the cut of his jib. So
Yeah.
what was his name? Was it just like
Rumble?
Rumble.
Because his brother is like Thunder Main, I think.
What a shit. So he comes to the episode is the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They are trying to help Cutie Mark. They're trying to help Blank Flanks get their cutie marks because they mistakenly believe that that's their job, even though no one's paying them for it, and it's not really what their cutie mark is supposed to be representing. And they're kind of... So, like, the Cutie Mark Crusaders are just doomed to follow a path in life that is not actually what they should be doing because they're stupid and they don't understand their own cutie marks and no one can explain it to them because everyone else is dumb too. So, like, the kid was right. Some ponies just look at their cutie marks and do the wrong thing. The Cutie Mark Crusaders are just doing the wrong thing with their lives now, and they always will be.
Yeah.
So they're like trying to tutor all these Blank Flanks and trying to make them do the activities to get their cutie marks, even though like the whole point was that for every season, all these seasons, like doing those activities didn't work. It never helped the cute. So like
yeah, and the most annoying thing I found with that was that they had like 5 activities, and they were like, Rumble deliberately failed at all of them. And they were like, oh, we got to bring him back and make him try harder instead of like adding new activities because what's the chances that among those 5 and among all those ponies that all of them are going to find a cutie mark in one of those things?
Like they spent so long thinking that they could achieve a cutie mark by performing these weird activities, and the whole point of it was they were wrong. That's not but now they're passing that wrong knowledge on to the next generation because just nobody is questioning it. So they're trying to tutor all the Blank Flanks, and at the beginning of the episode,
by the way,
I had to
I gotta
chuckle.
say, I got a little thing here. That I was felt off put at the beginning when the CMC were calling the others Blank Flanks.
Yeah,
because you have cutie marks. That's not your word anymore. You don't get to say it.
Yeah, only we can use that word. They I got the sense in the beginning part of the episode that like the Cutie Mark Crusaders are already over it and they already resent all the Blank Flanks and don't really want to hang out with them. They're like, we've got ours. Is this really our lot in life? Helping these retards figure out their shit. I sensed a condescension and like a little bit of a resentment in their dismissal of the blank flanks.
Yeah.
Or the way they use that term, loaded with such venom. And, well, anyways, so they decided to take their stupid tutoring thing to the next level, and they created a whole summer camp for blank flanks, where they just make everyone do dumb activities all day in the vain hopes that they'll get a talent mark in some shit. And Kettlecorn just wants to draw circles.
Yeah.
She's a good girl.
She just wanted to draw circles. They kept... I mean, It was weird. She was, like, drawing circles, and she got her cutie mark, and then she said, "Oh, but I still get to draw circles, right?" And they're like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But then later, the whole thing is about, like, yeah, you can still do multiple skills. It's not just your cutie mark. Don't worry. But, like, they just sort of dismiss her whole circle thing like it's not even good. And it was good. That could have been like a video game icon for an ancient something or other. You draw circles.
They only really started to give a shit about the circles once they could use it to say, fuck you, Rumble. Before that, they were like, yeah, fuck your circles. You're about haikus now.
What else happened?
Yeah, so the kid comes and he says, fuck you, and I don't want to do it. And he, like, leads a little revolt against the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and everyone decides they don't want cutie marks now, so they decide not to do anything. They abstain from all activities to not get their cutie marks.
I mean, he had like a kind of cool idea, and I was like, yeah, this kid's woke, he gets it, he knows, like, it's not good to conform to things just because people say that's what you're supposed to do. And then, like, he immediately, after the song, becomes an idiot, and is like, well, now we should do nothing. We should just sit here and be bored. Like, obviously that's not the point of what you were saying. You were saying, do whatever you like. You're not trying to get a cutie mark, but it wasn't, don't do anything.
The whole episode strikes me as an allegory for incels. This kid, he thinks that, he's, like, afraid that his cutie mark will take him away from the things that he wants to do. So he has decided that cutie marks are all bad and no one should have them. So he's creating a community around himself and convincing everyone else with propaganda to just abstain altogether from doing anything. It's like, if I can't get laid, then getting laid must be bad. It's the same attitude. This guy, he doesn't want his cutie marks, so cutie marks must be all bad and no one can do anything. They finally did it. They did an episode on the incel MGTOW community. This kid, Rumble, is the ultimate MGTOW.
Pigtow.
Yeah, exactly. He's a pigtow, a pony going his own way. He is going his own way.
God.
And then his fucking brother is like a Wonderbolt or some shit. Oh, and then there was that line where everyone was like freaking out because his brother was a Wonderbolt. And Scootaloo was like, well, Rainbow Dash is like kind of my sister and she's a Wonderbolt, and like no one gave a shit.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And like, I wonder if that was
this is exactly the same.
I wonder if that was because nobody gives a shit about Rainbow Dash for some reason, or if it's because, like, nobody gives a shit about Scootaloo and no one buys that she has a sister.
Yeah, maybe they're all like, oh, that's a tenuous relationship, that's not real.
Yeah, they're all like, shut up, Scootaloo, she's not your sister. You just say that because you're lonely. Get out of here. You're not related to a Wonderbolt. Fuck off. That's sad.
I'm looking through my notes. I wrote them really badly. There's too much information and not enough brain thoughts. Oh, yeah, I had this one point. The idea of, like forcing Rumble to continue doing these random things that he may not be interested in. I didn't like that as, like, the moral. Like, you should... Like, I understand it's good to have varied skills, but he had, like, singular passion in life, which was to be a Wonderbolt like his brother. And, like, he really wanted to do that, and this camp was not letting him do that, it was making him do other things. And I just feel like the moral is saying, if you have a singular passion in life, don't just do that. Do some other crap anyway. because it doesn't make any sense, because in real life, having a singular passion is enough to get you,
Yeah.
you know, if you really care about it, that's all you need in life, is one thing to do, and then you get good at it and you make money out of it.
The whole motivating factor in this, in Rumble not wanting a cutie mark, is because he already knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a Wonderbolt like his brother, and his brother was like a stupid dipshit, and he's like, nah, yeah, but you should want to do a variety of things. So he sent him to the camp to, like, do the dumb Cutie Mark Crusader activities, but he already knew what he wanted to do. So, like, he was right all along. He just, he had crappy parenting. He had bad role models giving him bad advice and making him do shit he didn't want to do.
It's like, don't follow your dream. Follow your dream plus. Follow your dreams. They have to have more than one. I don't get that as like an ideal moral. And I understand the reason it is because cutie marks don't make any sense, and they don't really mesh with like the idea of having a passion.
Yeah.
Especially since things you're good at and things you like are not necessarily what appears on your butt.
And it's not necessarily like like what's really inside you. Like, what was, when Kettlecorn got her cutie mark in Haikus, what did it look like? Because I don't remember.
It looked like a quill and just a writing thing. And
so, like, it was just a writing thing. So that could just as easily apply to circles as well. You could just say that her cutie mark means that she's an artsy person. She is poetic in nature, which can mean that she can write haikus, or she can speak in haikus, and she can draw circles. It didn't have to be one or the other. It's a really simplistic and literal interpretation of these cutie marks, which are supposed to represent, like, the pony's true personalities, like, at the core of themselves, not a singular activity.
Yeah.
And the moral should have been that the Cutie Mark Crusaders should have learned that they're living a lie and going about their own cutie marks the wrong way, and that this camp was a dumb idea.
I was hoping that, like, their cutie mark, that they would understand that their cutie mark does not mean forcing people to learn through a stupid camp, and that it's something different. I mean, I forget exactly what happens in the episode where they get them, but, like, Diamond Tiara was, like, upset, and they, instead of beating the shit out of her like they would like to, they opened up to her, because, you know, even though she was an enemy to them, and that was compassion, that was kindness, that was inclusivity, that was helping others in need.
Yeah, that's
what they got the cutie mark for. But they will never learn that. And
because they looked at it and they went, "Oh, make little ponies hang glide. That's what we gotta do."
What pony needs a kayak anyway? It doesn't make any sense. They have hooves. It doesn't look very good.
What is anything about this? Why do these horses talk? What is this?
Dude, did you notice in the song where they were like whispering like blank flank, blank flank? They were doing like a motion with their hooves that would imply that if there were people there, they would be snapping their fingers to the beat, but there's no snapping noise because they have hooves. They're just doing the motion.
What is happening? What is happening to this show?
Oh, it's getting better. That's what's happening to it.
It's finally the show that it was always supposed to be.
Oh boy. I love My Little Pony. Like, despite a lot of rant potential, I enjoyed it. It was cool. I like Rumble. He's a fucking crazy boy.
Yeah. You know what he reminds me of? His design and kind of his attitude sort of reminds me of that of Rainy Parade. Remember that OC that I made like years ago?
Yeah,
I made an OC called Rainy Parade, and he was a little gray sort of emo-looking Pegasus who it always rained on him, and that was his thing. And he was always sad, but he was really nice. And I had our friend Phantom Horn draw him, and I made like an Ask Tumblr blog for him that lasted for like 3 days before I got bored of drawing him and it went in the garbage. But that's what
he
Rumble
rained on his own
reminded me of.
Parade right there.
Yeah.
I think that character has been around, like both of them, him and his brother, have been in like other episodes. I remember like there was one like in season 4 or 3 where there was like they were trying to make a tornado to get water up to Cloudsdale. Man, what the fuck? That's cool.
I hope his brother fucking drills Rainbow Dash in the pussy. I want it to be an adult show. All the kids are grown up. I just want an episode that shows, like, who's fucking who.
Just outlining it, like, with
That's
graphs.
the only mystery left. We have to learn who's fucking who.
The show started in 2010, so 8 years later.
You have to assume that Rainbow Dash is, like, getting passed around the Wonderbolt locker room. Because it's kind of like how, like, the Olympic Village, those are, like, the best athletes in the world in the prime of their lives. And if you read about it, like, all the Olympic athletes, they stay in this little village while the games are going, and it's just like it's like a nonstop orgy. They're all doing it. That's got to be like what the Wonderbolt locker room is like. Yeah, it's like all the Olympic athletes are just having like mad orgies. I read that on like Cracked or some dumb shit, but like that's what I imagine the Wonderbolts. And I imagine that like that was a factor in Rainbow Dash getting the gig, that they needed a new girl on the team.
Spitfire was getting too old.
Yeah, she was getting worn out. We're going too far. We've ruined it. We've ruined the show.
Oh, but we're pirates. We talk about rude things all the time.
This is
and
sailor
alcohol.
talk. If you can't handle it, get out of the kitchen.
Get out of the ocean.
If you can't handle the sailor talk, get out. Walk the plank. That's what we say.
Yes. Go to our Patreon to give us money for more pony casts. I guess it's once per month. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, that's... we had a lot of ambition in the beginning, but we, once a month show. Patreon. Oh, boy.
It's worth it.
It is.
It's worth it.
It's the best show ever.
It's the best pony show there is.
It's gonna last longer this way. Even when the show is over and dead, we'll be like 4 seasons behind by then, and we'll still be going. We'll be the last bastion of My Little Pony.
Oh shit, have we talked, since it's been announced that the BronyCon 2019 is the last BronyCon?
Oh shit.
Have we talked about that?
We haven't.
I don't think we've talked about it on
show.
this. I'm going. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I'd definitely like to go. If it's the last one. It might be... You gotta. If ever there was a time for the Horseshoe Crew to have one last bow, that's it. And if those jerk-offs don't show, at least we'll be there, and we'll do PonyCast live. Not at a panel, because we're too stupid to set it up, but we'll do it in the streets.
I sent an email. I don't know if I'll ever get a reply about setting up a PonyCast panel, but it's potentially possible. Unlikely, though. I think we're just going to end up, like, walking the streets, doing it, like, into the air, a PonyCast, and people will gather around us.
Remember when we could get anything at BronyCon, because we had DigiBrony, and he had all that clout? That he flushed down the fucking toilet and left us with nothing.
Our pony fame, our horse fame is gone.
Now we have to scratch and claw just to eke out like a nook or a corner of the building with no lights in it, where we can just stand on the street corner and pretend that we have a panel.
People throw rotten tomatoes at us. Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Remember when we had worldwide superstar I Love Kim Possible a lot on our panel with us? We were rock stars. We were pillars of the... You weren't there that year. I forget.
Oh, yeah, that was the first...
No, you were past analysis that year. You were just a different guy. And then, between those 2 years, you evolved into your final form. Man. Bronies.
Remember when we're all on stage, shouting at a crowd?
Yeah, that was a weird... We were... I don't know about you, but I was extremely drunk.
I wasn't drunk enough. I remember
it was horrifying. There were like,
it was terrible.
Because there were like 5,000 people, and it was dark, and we were on stage in front of them, and I had a microphone, and I was like, fuck everybody. I think I swore immediately. They told me not to swear, and I immediately just let it fly. and said some shit.
And then Princess Celestia came on stage.
Oh yeah,
and Digi didn't
punched
realize
her.
he did actually punch her. Confirmed. New drama. Leak from years ago. Digibro punched Celestia. That's not funny.
The end.
The end.